Welcome to the Send More Offers Real Estate Show with Brandon Barnes, showing you how to do wholesaling deals consistently without having to go on seller appointments. Learn the key tips and strategies that Brandon's students use to find deeply discounted properties that are pennies on the dollar, all while avoiding wear and tear on their vehicle, body, and freedom. Whether you're looking for your first deal or your next deal, it's time to send more offers with your host, Brandon Barnes.
Hey, Nathan, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Good to see you.
Yeah, you as well. Super excited for this conversation. I saw the Atlanta area code on your phone, so I know that you've been in Atlanta at some point, right?
That's right, man. I grew up in Atlanta until I was about 21 years old. Then I moved out, started going to college out west, and moved back out over here to Utah. But I grew up there, man. I love Atlanta.
Yeah, now you're out there crushing and doing deals in Salt Lake City. Do you like that market, or do you still like to do things virtually, everywhere?
I like it here in Utah because the relationships that I've developed with my buyers, it makes when I have a deal super easy to dispo. But when I have deals that are in other areas, sometimes you don't have the relationships that are making it easy to move it. So I prefer if I just get deals straight here, but I get deals from all over because of leads that I get, and from networking with other companies, and also students that come from different areas.
Yeah, love it. And I know we're going to talk about that and the painless wholesaling method. I'm super excited to talk about that. But just to kind of get into the deal flow, what have things looked like? I mean, I know, COVID, the change in the market, everything's affected us all, differently. But yeah. I know you were crushing it. What was your favorite channel? How many deals, would you expect per month from those channels?
That's a great question. So at the beginning of the year, and I've been wholesaling for 4 years, right? So it's been a roller coaster ride, of course. But this year, at the beginning of the year, we were heavy into pay-per-click, nationwide pay-per-click. We were doing that, getting leads from all over. We had about 10 cold callers. We were texting, and those are primarily the three channels that we were paying for. And we were expecting anywhere from 3 to 8 deals a month. Through our marketing efforts. So we were doing some big months. I mean, I think one month we had 230,000, another one, so it really just depended, right? But you know how it is. It's 1 month you get 230, the next month's maybe 50K. So it just depends when those start hitting. And title is a big factor in that. So that's what my company looked like until the market shift happened. Then I can go into a little bit how I pivoted, but yeah.
Yeah. For sure. And PPC leads, right? Pay-per-click is when you go out and, you pay Google or other ad, companies to, put your ads for your business online, right? And, it's pay per the click on the ad, right?
That's right.
Are those leads, when they come through, would you say that they're the more motivated leads? Are those ones that you like?
Those are the best, I would say, because there's some intent. They had intent to fill out a form. If you cold call or text someone, they're just sitting there, maybe eating some Cheetos on their couch. They might not be thinking about it. But at least with the Google, there's intent, and you got to get to it quick. So those are better. I would say those are much better.
Love it. And so how did you build your business around that? I mean, I know, we haven't really talked about the beginning, but I'm assuming kind of when you first started, maybe it was you, and then maybe you brought on some team members. How does your acquisitions process look now? When a lead comes in, what happens?
Yeah, so my company is really different than what it was at the beginning of the year. But the traditional wholesale business would be a lead comes in, either a leads manager comes in and they filter it and they send it to an acquisitions manager. So that's what we were doing. We had leads managers filter the leads, follow up with the leads, and then send them to an acquisitions manager to make offers. And our goal was that the acquisition managers were only following up with warm or hot leads and making offers all day. So that's what it was. And that's what it is for a lot of people. Yeah.
Well, that's the name of the show, send more offers. So I'm assuming that you guys had fashioned your business, your model virtually so that you're not necessarily going on appointments. You guys were, sending offers over the phone, through the mail, email, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, we joined Sean Terry's. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Sean Terry, but we joined his mastermind, modeled our business after his model, nationwide model, and we ran that for up until the shift happened. But yeah, that's generally, I would say that's how most wholesaling businesses are set up if they're going to scale.
Yeah, I mean, and that this sending offers virtually is one of the good ways to do it. I mean, there are the in person models as well. I've always been a proponent of a mix, right? If you're doing deals in your backyard in your own market, go to appointments when it's really a good lead that requires your time, or you can go. But
Right.
for everything else, everybody gets an offer. I'd ask Nathan, how many offers were you kind of goaling your team to send on a weekly or monthly basis?
The KPI was always 5 a day per acquisitions rep. So at times we had, 3 acquisition reps. At times we had 1 or 2, but at least 5 offers out a day per person.
Love it. Love it.
And when we say offers, like these weren't just like a text message, like, "Hey, this is my offer." Like that doesn't count. Like, these have to actually be like a conversation with someone that wants an offer. We even went like a certain amount of time where we would just send. We were like trying to see if this worked. We would just send offers, like just send them, send, and it for us it wasn't as that effective. You got to get them on the phone. You got to build the rapport, and then make the offer. So
Yeah, that's a gem. And I wanted people to hear that, like, sending an offer doesn't count if you're not actually submitting like a full on offer, with a date. You may do your signature on it, you may not, but either way, you're requesting an actual signature on a signed offer from your company. And I think that's the most important thing, that you're giving yourself times at bat. You can't hit a home run if you don't step to the plate, right?
exactly.
So I love it, man. Talk about how you got going in this. Was it something that you saw like Sean Terry on YouTube, or did you have a friend locally? Like, how did you get in this business from the beginning?
Yeah, so I started the business with a business partner, no longer together. Nothing's wrong, but after a while, you realize you don't need a business partner, as because it's like 50-50. You don't really need to do that. But in college, I was doing door to door sales. I was a really good sales guy. I had some teams that I would manage. It was going well. And after college, I was like, well, I'm not trying to knock doors for the rest of my life. So I hit up my buddy who was one of my roommates in college, and he was wholesaling in college. And I was like, "Hey man, what are you up to?" And he's like, "I'm working a tech job." I was like, "Yo, let's forget that. I'll quit. I'm leaving the store to door sales. Let's start a business together. Let's do wholesaling, right? Or let's start real estate." I didn't even think I knew what wholesaling was necessarily. I was just like, "Let's
Yeah.
just go into real estate." And he's
Right.
like, "All right." So then we just got together. We started making calls, and that's how we got started.
Love it. So, it's interesting because these days, younger and younger, earlier and earlier, folks are able to get into the real estate investing business and the real estate investing space. So super, super interesting that you had a buddy that was already trying to do deals right in college. What was your first step from there? Did you go and seek out a mentor? Were you just using kind of YouTube University and flying by the seat of your pants? Or you just learning as you go? How did that work?
That's a great question. Yeah, like I didn't even think about YouTube back then. What I did is we just started knocking doors, try to look
Mm,
for deals,
wow.
and because that's where I came from. I was like, oh, I got a prospect, I got to go talk to people. So I started knocking doors. We eventually got our first deal at knocking doors. It closed months later, but we got a deal from knocking doors. And then as we were going, we're like, man, this is sucks. This is hard. We need to find somebody. So we just networked. We sent out a Facebook message saying, hey, who do we know that's a real estate agent? We were like, maybe a real estate agent can help us out. So real estate agent answered my buddy's Facebook post, put us in touch with a broker. A broker had been learning about wholesaling that we networked with. And he's like, yeah, come work in my office. I'll give you a dialer. I'll give you a list. Any deals that you get off there, you can wholesale, you can keep. But if you have any listings, give them to me. And we're like, all right, cool.
Nice.
So then that's kind of how we got our start.
Very cool. And in the beginning, when you were door knocking, how did you know which door to knock? Did you pull a list? Did you know? Were you looking for
And we just went to
top
random
end
neighborhood,
houses?
just
You just
random
went.
neighborhood. We're like, yeah, this looks like a crappy neighborhood. Let's go here.
What? Tell me what year this was, man.
Uh,
Around.
I've been doing this since 2018. Yeah,
Wow.
2018.
Wow, bro. YouTube was like a whole thing by then. I think you
I
could have
know, bro. I don't know why
cut
I
some pain out.
have a
Yeah,
YouTube
with
channel too. So I'm like, why didn't I even think about checking it out? I think the only thing I watched on YouTube was John Martinez sales training. I think
oh,
that's it.
nice. Yeah.
But I didn't like go into like strategies or anything. I was like, I don't know. I'm just going to talk to people. John will tell me what to say.
Right, right. I like it, man. Well, that's grit. That's persistence, tenacity. I love it. Fill in the adjective. So that kind of transformed into what you got to, and I mean I know you've done some really large deals even. Did you have any guidance along the way from those early days to ultimately you're doing just shy of $1 million a few years later?
Yeah. I would say, yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent of education, getting yourself around the right people. So I was always getting mentors. I've gotten, Alex Youngblood was like the first one that I paid for. And then I went Jerry Norton route, and then I did Sean Terry. I've done a lot. So I'm always willing to learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it. And look, there's something to having a business that's generating multiple six figures, right? That is something that a lot of businesses would dream of, right? And so
Mhm.
we don't have to be doing multiple seven figures to say, hey, I know how to do this business. So like once you've kind of gotten some of that confidence, and now you're giving back, you're showing others how to do it. What are some of the lessons that you've learned, I guess, through that process of like kind of building a team and then now kind of showing others how to do it? What's some of the things that you've learned along the way?
I would learn. I think I learned like the importance of consistent, massive, imperfect action. I know it's a lot,
Yeah.
but it's like you got to be consistent. You got to be taking imperfect action. Like nothing's ever going to be perfect. Like you just got to give it a shot, go for it. But it's like what you say with making offers. Like you're not going to be able to buy a house without making an offer. So you got to take that action, and that's the only way you're going to get paid. Because I look at a bunch of people that are like there's noobs or new people all the time that get deals, and it's like, man, how are they getting deals? Like
Right.
I'm out here working, and then it's because they're grinding, they're hustling, they're talking to people, and then sometimes I sit back like a week and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't really make that many offers. I was
Mm.
I was focusing on building the website or doing something stupid that has little results. So yeah.
That's a great gem. I'm gonna give you another one for that because super important is just continuing to move the ball forward. One thing that I've kind of gained from our chit chatting like prior to getting going and even through this interview is that you've also leaned on the buyer side of things. You kind of starting with the end in mind.
Yeah.
Is that a strategy that you just picked up naturally along the way? Like what taught you the importance of networking with buyers and understanding and leveraging them to do deals?
Man, I know I've done the whole wholesaling process several hundreds of times, and I find that the easiest way, the most effective, the fastest way is to just have a buyer that's ready and then find or like look for what he wants on the MLS from other wholesalers. Or when you're targeting specific markets, you already have a guy, like you already have some buyers. Because the biggest pain that we had was when we went nationwide, and we did this for like 2 years. We turned on nationwide pay per click because that's what everybody said was working, and it worked. Like we made money, but it was a nightmare, bro. It was a straight
Yeah.
nightmare. You get leads in the middle of nowhere sometimes, and you get leads in random places, and you're like, okay, I got to negotiate with this person. I don't know the area, don't know the street, but I'm gonna make an offer that I think makes sense. You lock it up, you send it out to whoever you're able to get a hold of in that week while you're marketing. And sometimes you get lucky and you find someone. Sometimes you reach a lot of people and they're like, "Yo, dude, that area sucks. Like, what are you doing? You're wasting all your time." And that's what majority of these wholesalers do, bro. And I'm on a mission to stop this because they'll. I was on a coaching call yesterday with Jerry Norton's group, and some guy's like, "Hey, we look at this deal with me." And I'm like, "All right." He shows me where the deal is. It's in the middle of nowhere, bro. Like middle of nowhere. And I'm like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is where I live." And I'm like,
Uh,
"No." I showed him. I was like, "There's no flippers here. There's no one flipping. No one's gonna buy your deal." And he's like shocked. He's like, "Whoa! I wish I would have known that." I'm like, "How many people are out there like me that were just trying to do deals where they have no business being?"
right, right. I mean that's something that kind of came about. I don't know if it was kind of coincided with like the COVID time period, but there were a lot of people. We even kind of went a semi-national strategy.
Mhm.
We expanded across the Southeast a little bit, but even in that, we were finding deals in different areas. And some people use like the novation strategy, right, of being able to then list the property on
Right.
the market. But then you're going out, you're hustling, trying to find an agent to work for you and work on your behalf. So even
Yeah,
that can be difficult. And if it's not a good deal in a good area, it doesn't matter if it's on MLS or not. It's still going to be kind of hard to sell, right? So
that's right.
I've been there. I felt that pain as well, and I've doubled down in my primary area. But something that you just mentioned that I think is going to be important and helpful to talk about is going where you know that there are buyers at. What are some of the tools that you use to find out where the buyers are and give you the confidence on that's where I should be doing my marketing?
Great question. So there's several tools I use. I use batch leads. Batch leads, you can check an area to see how many flips have sold, who's flipping out there. You can also use Privy. Those are the two softwares I use mainly, Privy and batch leads. You can do everything you want as a wholesaler with those, in my opinion. There's obviously other companies, but that's what I do.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to be speaking, interviewing the guy that runs Privy here soon. I'm still not familiar with the service.
Yeah, it's money.
It
It's
is
money.
what makes it special? Is it just you can just do a search like, hey, choose a city and tell me how many buyers are there, or
Yeah, so what Privy does, it does a lot, right? But the extent that I use it is it will show you how many flips, if you can do a search nationwide and say, hey, how many flips are going on right now that are active, right? So it will show you a map of the United States and it will show you, okay, look, there's the hottest areas in the United States are the places where the most flips are going because those are where the flippers are. So you can zoom in and check. And for example, I looked yesterday. I think there was like 78 flips in Salt Lake City. So it's like, okay, there's 78 flips active right now. So there's competition. But if you go to South Dakota, there's really none, right?
yeah, yeah.
So Privy helps you do that. You can also do a ton of stuff with that, but I primarily use it to choose the market. So you asked me yesterday, like, or not before in the beginning of this call, like what market, why would I go to Atlanta? Right. Cause I'm telling you about that 30-day challenge I have. And it's because I looked it up on Privy. It's obvious, right? Atlanta's hot, but you can look and you'll see exactly why it's a good area.
Could you tell how many? Do you remember how many was showing up in Atlanta?
I don't remember with Atlanta, but I
Okay,
know
okay.
I know Atlanta and Dallas Fort Worth are probably like some of the hottest, like the most active areas.
Love it. And that's just, it's super important. Like you go where the buyers will buy. If you get a good deal, you get a good lead, it doesn't matter if you're in an area where you can't sell that deal. So talk about this 30-day challenge. What would make you want to go into some other market that you're not in currently? And you're going to show some folks how you can do a deal in 30 days? Tell me
Yeah,
more.
like I hope I can do a deal in 30 days. No, what's going on is I tell people like, look, you don't need to when you're brand new, you don't need to go out and spend because this is what I did, bro. Like after I learned a little bit about marketing, I started spending money like crazy. I spent like $10,000 on mailers, which for me at that time is still a lot of money, but back then it was a lot, and I got
Yeah.
nothing out of it. So when you're brand new and you spend that money, you get nothing. You're like, yo, I'm screwed. So that's what happens is I think a lot of these wholesalers, they don't understand their market. They don't understand like what buyers want. They don't even understand how to underwrite a deal. And then they go drop money on, they get cold callers or they start cold calling themselves. They start spending tons of money on marketing. And I'm like, guys, don't stop. There's a better way. And that's why I'm doing this 30-day challenge. I'll say, look, I'm going to just drop myself in a random area that I don't have, that I'm not like doing deals. And I'll show you how to leverage relationships, how to get deals with like little to no marketing spend. I think I'm going to tell people I'm going to use Batch and Privy. Those are the two. So it's probably going to cost you like $200 a month. For $200 a month, I'm going to show you how I can get a deal in 30 days. And if let's say I go 30 days and I don't get a deal, I can tell you like I'm either going to be extremely close or you guys can all think I'm a piece of, like I'm trash. But
No,
I'm
bro.
very confident.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, look, I typically think, life cycle of a deal is at least 60 days. You can get it done for sure in 30, right? But even if at the end of the 30 days, just kind of knowing what you've done and knowing your track record, right?
Mhm.
You're going to have something, on the hook to where it may close in the next 30. So I'm sure
Right.
that's going to be great. Where are people going to be able to watch or like follow along in that journey? Is that like a Facebook or YouTube
Yeah,
thing?
I'm just gonna go live on my platform, so you can watch it on my YouTube channel.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. And just give us a heads up. I know we're going to talk about it at the end, but what's the channel?
Nathan Payne, Investor Thrive TV. So if you just look up Nathan Payne, my name, you'll see it.
Awesome. It'll be in the show notes, guys. So I can't wait to follow you along. When is that
Yeah,
going to
man,
kick
follow
off?
me. Yeah, I want people to want me to win. I want people to see me fail because you know how it is. Whether they want you to win or succeed, if they're watching, it's all good.
Right.
And again, the main reason I'm doing this is because the journey of the new investor mainly is they're not confident, right? So they just start spending money and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but they're like, just keep going. And I'm just going to show people like how to confidently start in real estate, like how to begin. And it doesn't start with just like going and spending money, in my
Right.
opinion.
Right. Are you going to kick this off, February 2023?
I think I'm going to do it on, let's see, it's going to be next Wednesday. I'm going to start
Okay.
it Wednesday. So I think
Awesome.
let's see, what day is it?
The
That's
25th or so?
25th. Yeah. Because
Awesome.
I want to start going. I was going to wait till the February, but I was like, I'll just get it next week, Wednesday. And
Yeah.
the journey will be like literally like I'm doing exactly what I teach. And again, I'm excited because if win or fail, like is going to be fun. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Nah, it definitely takes some confidence to do that, and I think that's the main thing that you want to show folks how to do. So look, tell me before before we put you to the lightning round, tell me about one of the craziest deals that you've done. I've always wanted to do something with my buddies where we talk about the craziest deals we've done, and I was going to animate it and everything because I know I've done some crazy things to get a deal done. Tell me about one of the craziest deals that you've ever done.
Man, let's see. I got some crazy stuff. So I purchased. So when we first originally started wholesaling nationwide. Our second deal we got after like 10 leads. We were like, dude, this is the greatest thing ever. We got a deal, and so we get a deal in Rialto, California. Never been there, but it's in a good area, right? Rialto, and the seller wants 80,000. We're like, oh, that's a freaking deal. That we were able to find buyers at like 120. So we're like freaking 40K. Let's go. This is amazing. So we get it at 80K. Everything seems fine. The house is vacant. All we know is a piece of trash. It's vacant. It's just a terrible property. And we come to the closing, and the seller is like, I know I'm selling to you guys for way too low. I want 95,000. And we were noobs back then, bro. So we were like, okay. We were just like, sure. And then we were agreed. Now I'd be like, hey lady, you don't get to decide the day of closing that you want more. We're going to tie the sucker up because you can't do that. That's not how real estate works. But I didn't know that. So we're like, okay, sure. So that happened. And then our buyer that we had lined up bailed. So I was like, no, this is a good deal. We can't lose out on this. So I bought it. 95,000, never seen the house, didn't know, but I bought it. I was like, I'll do it. So I buy the property. Later, we tried to wholesale it, or like not wholesale. We tried to sell it the next day, and we find someone like 125, right? So I'm like, okay, we're still making some good money. And the guy goes to the house, and he's like, hey, I ain't buying this house. There's a squatter inside. And we're like, what? There's a squatter? We did not know, right? So this is California, and they got squatters' rights apparently over there. I'm like, dude, just buy it. It's not a big deal. Just kick him out. He's like, dude, that's not how it works here. I ain't buying this unless you get him out. And I was like, tell the guy we'll give him $500 to get out, right? So he goes, tells the guy he's going to give him $500 to get out. And the guy's like, I ain't leaving unless you give me $2,500, and I'm going to think about it. Give me 30 days to think about it. So the squatter's like making demands, dude. And this is my own money at that time, $95,000. Like that's still a lot. It's like that's a lot to be holding on when you're a new guy on a house that's supposed to be vacant. That's trash. So I was like, forget that. I'm not letting this squatter stop me from selling this deal. So after he told me that, the next day, me and my business partner got on a plane and we flew to California. We got in a giant, those minivans you rent, they're like 18 passenger.
Yeah.
We got in a giant minivan, white minivan, because we were like, there was a sprinter van. Yeah. The reason why we got it is because there was a giant gate. There was like a 10, 12-foot gate surrounding the house. So, and they had locked it. They had locked themselves in, and they would jump in and out to get out. So we were like, we're gonna blow this gate down if we can't break the lock. So we get full coverage on the van. We check before. We're like, hey, the guy at the rental place, we're like, you sure this is covered no matter what? And he's like, yeah, no matter what. So I'm like, all right, we're ready. So we were ready to blast this gate down with this car. But then we're like, let's call a locksmith first. So we call a locksmith.
Yes.
Luckily, the locksmith just cut that thing right off. So we didn't have to ram the gate down.
Right.
We open the gate, and me and him, me and my buddy roll in there. We're like, everybody get out of the house. And like a lady comes out, and she's like with a man who knows what they're up to. They just ride off. You know, the dude rides off, and the girl's like, this is my boyfriend's is at work. Like, you guys, what are you doing? We're like, hey, we gave you the opportunity, but you didn't take it. You need to leave. And she's like, okay. So she starts packing up, and in the house, it's like they've been living there for like a while, and it's crazy. So she dips out. She has her friend come throw all her stuff in her truck, and
was
we're
there
like,
power, and did they have
nothing,
electric? Oh,
nothing, dude. There were nothing, no power, nothing. Just living in the dark. So while we're like getting them out, we see a car roll up, and it's two Mexican guys, and I'm like, this might be him. It's time to might get froggy right now. Right. So I go up to the car because I'm like not about to get rolled up on. I was gonna do the rolling. So I was like, hey, do you guys live here? And they're like, no, that's we live here. We're the neighbors. And I was like, you guys want to get paid like $100? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, board this house up right now. And they're like, okay. So they came over with like some drills and hammers, and they freaking boarded that thing up in no time. Nice. And while they're boarding it up, the squatter comes back from work with his boss, and his boss is like, you can't kick my employee out. This is where he lives. And I'm like getting fired up. I'm like, oh, why don't you pay your employee a little bit more money so he can live somewhere that has electricity? Right. And the guy's like, forget you. It got a little interesting, heated. I probably would have handled things maybe a little bit more calmly, but I was just annoyed.
Yeah, I would be too.
He calls the police on me for kicking his squatter out. Police comes, and the guy's trying to like say, hey, this guy can't kick this guy out. This is where he lives. He's got rights. And I was like, look, I have this. This is the deed. I own the house. This guy shouldn't be living here. And the policeman pulls me and my partner aside. He's like, look, we're going to get this guy out of here. We got to get code enforcement here, though, because they can't live in a place with no electricity, no running water. It's condemned. So it took like an hour. Code enforcement, like 10 people roll in deep, and they're like, you can't live here. This is condemned. And then they got him out. But the thing that was the most frustrating was the boss the whole time was talking trash to like us, like trying to keep his employee in an abandoned house. It was the weirdest thing.
Right.
It was crazy.
Wow. That is wild.
And another thing was
finally
really
like leave with his like tail tucked between his legs once they finally went on and said, hey, this is condemned. You shouldn't be here.
Well, they later on, because we asked the neighbors, we're like, hey, make sure no one tries to get back in there. Like later that day, they tried to like come in during the night, and the neighbors let us know, and we got the cops over there. So they were probably like, yeah, don't worry, we'll be back. But I was like, no, you're not. But the thing that was the craziest is the squatter, American, like Mexican guy, like tan like me, but American, like you can tell he's raised here, but he just looks Hispanic. He was acting like the whole time like he didn't speak English. I'm like, bro, you speak English. We've been speaking English. But the cops came, and they're like trying to talk to him, and he's like, I don't speak. No, yeah. And I was like, dude, you were just speaking English with me. So
bro,
it was wild.
That was one of my favorites, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel or a show for like all of our craziest stories, because everybody has one. If you've been in this business long enough, you've been through some craziness, and that one was interesting. I can only imagine you ramming the gate with the
dude. I was ready, bro. And the thing was, like the next day, I called the buyer, said it's vacant. We're done. We flew out here. You need to close. He's like, closed, done, and they closed that day. So that was nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
You were able to walk away. How much did you end up getting paid on that one?
I think it was like $25,000.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
So, man, that was, you went through a lot, but ultimately you got the deal done. And that's one of the reasons I love this business, is that there's a lot of ways to make money, but, we go through a lot. We're problem solving half the time. And you don't have to be in front of a desk and, looking at spreadsheets to make good money, right? You could just go out there, be a people person, problem solve and do good work. Of course, there's still sales and marketing involved, but you just prove you just solved some problems and made a good payday at the end, man.
Yeah, bro.
This has been great, bro. But I can't let you go without putting you through the lightning round. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready. Light me up.
All right. Cool. Look, so I got a series of rapid fire questions. You don't know the question. I don't know your answer. So just say the very first thing that comes to your mind. What is one book that has been instrumental to your growth as a real estate investor?
The Slight Edge.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I like that one.
If you could have drinks or coffee with any one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Jesus. Man, because he's the best. I'd ask him everything.
Yeah, mic droppers. That goes without saying. What's your best advice for someone looking to do their very first wholesale deal?
Get in touch with a local buyer before you start trying to find a deal.
Buyers list. Got it. Good stuff. What's one mistake that you've made on a deal or in business in general that if you could do it over, you would take that chance?
Oh my gosh, man. Too many. I just recently lost a lot of money on a subject to deal. Before the market shifted, I thought I gave myself enough time to for the balloon payment. It was like a 6-month balloon because I was like, I can sell this thing, and I agreed with him. He didn't keep up his end of the agreement. It was bad. But I was like, all right. He's like, oh, I'm a contractor. If you give me the money, I'll fix it up. So I gave him the money to fix up the property as a down payment. He took it, didn't fix up the property, and then it went to the balloon payment. So he's like, just took my dough and took the house back. So don't ever do that. That was a terrible mistake.
Sheesh. How much did you lose on that one?
Oh man, it's a lot. 26,000.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I gotta give you a.
Very painful.
I've been waiting to use that one.
Yes. Very painful.
What were you gonna say?
Very painful. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's rough. Do you like creative financing deals like subject to? Do you make those type of offers often?
I do, but when I was feeling froggy when the market was so hot, and I trusted that this guy would do what he said, so that's why I did it. I was like, oh yeah, because the house, if he didn't fix it up at all at the time, if I could have sold it and made money. The market is gone down like 100K in that area, so it's like, well, shoot, it doesn't even matter if he fixed up the house, probably would have broken even. So it's whatever. I mean, ish happens, right?
Yeah. Where did you learn how to do your subject to deals?
One of my first deals I did as a brand new newbie was subject to. So I learned in the very beginning that it's just like a mortgage. You just got to structure with the seller.
Love it. Good stuff, man. So what is the financial goal that you set for your real estate investing business for this calendar year? Like, what are you guys kind of shooting for? And I know you're not as much focused on just your single family business.
Yeah.
But what's kind of the goal that you've set
for me, like 250,000, because right now my business is just me. Like I run the business. It's just little to no overhead. I'm just doing deals through relationships. So 250,000.
Yeah. I mean, with little to no overhead, right? That's a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
A lot of money. I love it. If you woke up tomorrow with $500 million deposited into your account overnight, what's the first thing that you would go out and purchase with that newfound money?
Oh man, I'd probably go to Costco, buy it like an 86-inch TV. Man, I've been wanting a nice TV, but I just don't buy it because that's a waste of money. But if I had $500,000, I'd buy a big TV.
There you go. I like that. That's a good answer. Last one for the person that's listening right now that just can't seem to get this thing going, can't seem to figure it out. They want to get in wholesaling or they want to do multiple deals in a row. What advice would you tell that person?
I think I was talking to Brad Chandler. He owns Express Home Buyers. Like he does deals. Yeah, he's awesome. I was talking to him, and I think I found out we were talking about like not mindset, but like limiting beliefs. And I think the first thing that I would address, if you aren't taking the action or you feel like you're not doing good, think about like what limiting beliefs you have. Like, do you even believe you can do this? Like, do you believe that you have what it takes to succeed and be a millionaire? Like, there's a lot of people out there that like, that's what's really stopping them. It's not the actions, the marketing. It's just like, just every day they're like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I take the action. So that would be my advice for someone starting out. Is like, before you start even doing this, like, do you have what it takes? Do you believe in yourself?
Yeah. I Love it, man. Great advice. Great advice. Well, look, man, this has been great, Nathan. And I think that you were very helpful and just kind of showing and sharing, through some of your experiences, how things, some things are really important, like having a buyer's list, knowing who you're going to sell to, and then just kind of moving the ball forward, taking the lumps, getting offers out. I like the 5 offers per day. And just making sure that you're pushing that ball forward and having the right mindset for this business. Before I let you go, like, is there some place that you want folks to follow you specifically? And then where can they learn more about Investor Thrive?
I got 2 places for you. Okay. You got investorthrive.com. Check it out. It's got everything you need. And you got my YouTube channel. You can get everything you need from those. You can hit me up through those two, I guess, channels.
Awesome. And then so on YouTube, if we search Investor Thrive, that'll get to your primary page, right?
Just type in my name, Nathan Payne, it will get you there.
Awesome.
That'll probably be easier to remember.
It'll be in the show notes. Are you on social media at all?
I'm on everything. So if you search Nathan Payne or Investor Thrive, you're going to find everything on any platform.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, look, man, I appreciate it. And guys, by the way, as always, I want you to head over to sendmoreoffers.com. Nothing for sale there, just a bunch of great resources, show notes. You can sign up for the mailing list. You can even book a call and spend some time with me if you head over to sendmoreoffers.com. I look forward to speaking to you there. Nathan, this has been great, man. Let me know if you do your 30-day challenge. I'm here to support you, bro. If you got anything in Atlanta, I would love to work with you on it. And wait to hear from you.
They're dropping me in there, man. I'm going to have to hit you up. I'm dropping in.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm excited. All right, guys. As always, send more offers, do more deals. Until next time, peace.
That's all for this episode of the Send More Offers Real Estate Show with Brandon Barnes. But we know you're craving more knowledge to get yourself ready for that next deal. To schedule a call with Brandon to learn more about how to do deals consistently without seller appointments in a repeatable way, be sure to visit us at sendmoreoffers.com. And be sure to tune in for the next episode of the Send More Offers Real Estate Show.